So I thought of a few things that will help you in this or really any other lifestyle that you choose to pursue. And I wanted to share them with you. So let's talk about it. All of these things sort of go together. And the first thing is in off grid living and homesteading, one of the most important skills that you can develop is being able to look around and see that there are materials everywhere and developing the ability to figure out how you can do something rather than why you can't do something. For the 12 years that we've been out here, we never really had any money. And everything that we've done out here, we've built out of things that other people were throwing away or stuff that we were able to scavenge or things that we found right here on the property. One example of that is all of the rocks that we have. I always joke, we're cash poor, but we're rock rich. But these rocks are kind of funny because they're such a weird shape, they're really difficult to do anything structural out of. And we've built some stuff, like this little retaining wall here, this extremely primitive fire pit, all of these raised beds, even though now that it freezes at night, the garden looks very sad. This thermal mass compost heater, which kept the greenhouse warm, this gabion structure, which demarks one of the corners of the property here. We've always found a use for the rocks, but when it comes to building something like an actual foundation or a wall, they're just not really perfect for that. But we have a lot of them. And that brings me to the next thing. Learn stuff. We are living in a time when you can not only learn one way to do something, but every way to do that thing. There is no reason why every single lesson that you learn on the homestead has to be trial and error. If you'd like to just ask somebody who has done all the trials, made all the errors, just ask in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I have personally consumed roughly 300 hours of content on building things with rocks. Was there a video that said how to do exactly what it is with materials that are like ours? No, but I consume that much on a subject so that I can get all of the first principles. Because if I know those, then I can actually think through the problems that I'm encountering, solve them, and end up being able to do the thing that I want to do. And that brings me to the next thing. Start with something easy. I've just learned a bunch about building with rocks, and instead of going directly into building the root cellar over here, which I want to build out of rocks, really the main thing that I want to do is build it like a bank vault so I can put all of the snacks that I covet in it and prevent my scheming children from getting at my raspberry-filled donuts. It's a whole thing. But I'm starting out with just building a retaining wall to be able to level this area to work on it. But look at the difference between this retaining wall and the one that you saw up there. I've worked all the rocks to be able to make very small gaps and have straight lines and all of those sorts of things. This is great practice and is going to teach me a ton when I get to actually building the thing that is more consequential than a retaining wall. Which brings me to my very last point. Take inspiration from other people's projects, make it your own, and give the people you got the inspiration from credit. I wouldn't have even started working with these rocks at all if it wasn't for Kayla or Kala, I don't know how to pronounce her name, from Engineer Everything. I loved watching her build that tunnel under her suburban home. And to me, being who I am, she was the embodiment of asking for forgiveness rather than permission. And I just love that. So when her project got shut down and she started quarrying rocks using simple tools like feather and wedges, I was like, this is exactly what I needed. And honestly, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff or be getting this quality of building material out of all of the rocks that I've struggled to use for the 12 years that we've been here and that we have literally millions of, if it wasn't for watching her videos and taking inspiration from her project, which I just think is amazing. I feel like that's important because of the encouragement, but also because it allows people to trace back where you got the idea to get even more information. And I just really appreciate when people do that. So big shout out to Engineer Everything. Keep doing what you're doing because I love your videos. It doesn't really matter what you want to do, whether it's off-grid living, homesteading, knitting, caber tossing, woodworking, making your own bologna, becoming a Korean barbecue restaurateur, or even developing a currency for pets to use. If you do those 4 things, you can learn anything. You can do anything. So I hope that helped. And I'll catch you next time.